shows back up at the, I guess, at the behest of Sonic, and basically, because of him showing up, reclaims basically what was rightfully his in the first place. And of course, Patch, not too happy about this, tries to poison him just like he had done his father, because Patch had escorted the parents on the world tour. Again, I know it sounds confusing, Tanner, so like I said, Google some of the information if you want to, and I guarantee you there are other people as well that are going to help you out. But definitely Google the information. Go to places like, I'll give you one place to go to. Go to Google the name tailskickass.net. Go there, sign up. Signing up is free, and you should be able to read the comics from the beginning to now, and it should get you up to date to what's going on. And you can read the comics on that website if you want to. But like I said, getting back what I'm saying, Patch, evil Antoine, is not too happy about this, tries to poison Elias just like he did his father, but instead, Sonic is able to see this and kind of put two and two together and realize, hey, you're not Antoine, you're Patch. So, long story short, Antoine, the real Antoine, who's been in the other zone, and we find this out in 150, gets brought back and reunited with Bunny Rabbit, who he was in love with and never had fallen out of love, and vice versa for her. Now, again, that was basically Ken Perringer's last story. Basically, he wanted to go out by fixing something that I think he felt didn't need to be done, didn't need to happen. So, long story short, you know, it was up till then of how long Penders had been on board with the comic. And yes, Tanner, there's no doubt that he and Carl Bowlers had done some crazy, controversial things. Don't get me wrong about that. There's a lot they've done. But, you know, basically, long story short, those are some of the highlights, good or bad, that you can look at, if you will. Basically good or bad that you can look at from the comic book perspective. Sort of in the old history kind of deal. Now, of course, there's more to what happens in the comics than just that, especially when Ian Flynn comes on board. See, Ian Flynn, you could kind of tell later on, even during the first few issues of his run on the comic, you could tell Ian Flynn wanted to get Sally and Sonic back together as well. True, Ian has denied at times that was never really going to happen, or it's not going to happen, He did basically exactly what he said probably wouldn't be. He put them back together, but what Ian did, hold on for a second. But what Ian did basically is he slowly took his time with it. Some people will acknowledge that at least Ian did that. He took his time with the comic. He didn't rush anything. He didn't say, okay, we're going to do this real quickly and anything. He took his time rebuilding this relationship with Sonic and Sally, because he would throw hints in there once in a while, whatever. You know, he even had Sally temporarily during the Iron Dominion arc, because, you know, there was a situation to where Ian Flynn, and again, like I say, go to tailskickass.net, sign up there for free and read the comics. Ian Flynn did a story arc in the first 40 issues of his run. He did some decent work. There's no doubt about it. He did some decent work and everything with the characters. Darkest Storm is probably one of the ones that he did, one of the more darker ones he had done for a while. Things like that. So, anyway, long story short, we get towards the end. We get towards the 200th issue, and Ian Flynn decides to do something. He decides to do this little mini plot behind with Eggman, where no matter what Eggman does and seems to be successful at it, Sonic always finds a way to beat him and defeat him and send him packing. One of the most talked about things that had done on his run, his first 40 issues, he's done several things that fans didn't expect he would do. He destroyed Knothole, is one. He took a concept I think he had brought in with Darkest Storm or Penders or somebody had brought in, and they were called the Egg Grapes. And basically he had Eggman invade Knothole, destroy it, or destroy Knothole Freedom HQ, and zap everybody, presumably destroying them and all that, but basically teleporting them to these egg grapes where he would suck out the life force to make the egg grapes more powerful. So anyway, long story short, like I say, long story short, he starts doing this mini plot, I think around even 175 or after 177, where Eggman starts to lose his mind. Eggman's starting to lose his marbles. Because it's like no matter what he does, he can't beat Sonic. So finally 200 comes around, and it's just him and Eggman one-on-one, and Sonic basically again beats Eggman, and Eggman basically finally flips out. He just tears off his mustache, flips out, starts speaking gibberish and all that. And basically Snively, who is the nephew of Eggman in the old continuity, has to tell Sonic, all you did was break him. You basically broke him to the point that now he's gone. His mind's out. He's out. He's out to lunch. So that made room for the Iron Dominion arc, which was also a mini plot that he was working on to do up until about 212. Now, during the Iron Dominion arc, which also expanded into a Journey to the East mini arc in Sonic Universe, he had started to flirt with this thing between Monkey Kong and Sally, because Sally and Sonic weren't officially together. But all this was, and I've mentioned this before, and everybody else even acknowledged it, Monkey Kong was more of the, I guess you could say, was more of a temporary love interest. It's like I'll give you an example like I've mentioned before and when I've talked about this. It's basically like when you do a movie that's based on a series, or you do a series of episodes based on a season like the summer, and you take one of the main characters and you have him fall in love with just a character that's there for that duration, for that movie, for the plot of that movie or the plot of that series of episodes. And then afterwards, that's it. Nothing happens. You don't see him again. Well, that's kind of like with Sally. It's a relationship with Monkey Kong. That's what Monkey Kong was. Monkey Kong was for Sally. He was basically that love interest that you knew about, but you knew wasn't going to last. Wasn't really going to go anywhere. And basically all it was to build up the return of Sonic and Sally again as a couple, which finally did happen in 222, because after 212 and into 213 and all that, you had Sonic and Sally slowly kind of acknowledge that the feelings were there still. They were getting back to that momentum that made them finally get back together officially in 222. Now, what was interesting about 222, and some fans may or may not like this, of what Ian Flynn did, I'll give him credit, is he made Amy Rose mature enough to understand that, yeah, I still care about Sonic, I still want Sonic to myself, but if being with Sally makes him happy, that's all that matters to me. So I thought was a good mature moment he had given Amy. Now, of course, that didn't last long, because we get into 224, we get into 225. So again, that didn't last long, because as we get into 224 and then 225, Eggman finally launches the Death Egg. We get all these little hints and stuff throughout the other issues that something big's going to happen, and it's basically Eggman launching or relaunching the Death Egg. It's the Death Egg Mark II, or Mach 2, and basically the Freedom Fighters have to go and try to stop him again, but they can't do it but they can't really do it. And Sally basically at the end of 224 gets gunned down, but the Genesis wave happens. The first Genesis wave happens, sends them into a world similar to Sonic 1 and 2, or mostly Sonic 1. Sonic and Sally meet up again and everything, and through the Genesis arc, which is up until about which I think is to about 230, I believe, because it goes from 226, 227, 228, and 229. At the end of that, Sally and Sonic both remember the old world, remember that things that what they're experiencing shouldn't be, and so we get to 230, and basically that's where Sally, the only way they could stop the Death Egg is for Sally to sacrifice herself. Basically, what happens is Nicole, who has had a form actually has had a holographic links form even before this. Look up these story Stargazing, and has had it ever since, and it's had it more officially since about 176. Basically, Nicole tells Sally that the only way she can reroute the roboticizer is to the location, but they're not going to have enough time to get out of there, or at least Sally won't. So Sally basically sacrifices herself to save everybody, and she sacrifices herself to robotization. She becomes Mecha Sally. Basically, and because she's roboticized now. Eggman controls her and everything. And long story short, he weaponizes her, which I think he just wielded on weaponized armor onto an already roboticized body. And this lasts from about 230, the end of 230, basically it lasts from the end of 230 to about 247, and even to some issues of Sonic Universe. And that's when we get into the crossover with Mega Man. And what happens there is basically Mega Man and Sonic, they go super at the end, and Eggman doesn't want to lose again, doesn't want Sonic to defeat him because he thought he had the ultimate plan finally, and basically decides, if I can't, basically in an act of desperation and kind of showing he has a little bit of the craziness still in him. Basically, Eggman interrupts Sonic in super form, trying to restore the world just like he had done before in the first Genesis wave, trying to restore the timeline of the world to what it was. Basically, get back to, when they had finally disabled, thanks to Silver, disabled Mecha Sally so they could try to restore her. And basically, because of Eggman's interruption, thus you get the NU 252 beginning and the soft reboot and retcon. I know it sounds a little confusing, and again, I do recommend Googling if you have to, as well as recommend going to TalesKickass.net, signing up there, and checking out the comics from there. If you want a good starting point to where it really gets into that more serious mode, I would try between issue 17 and then go from there. But that's mainly what happens. That's mainly what's going on. That's mainly what occurred before the soft reboot and retcon. And the reason Nicole was able to restore everybody's memories is because, like Sonic, because she's an artificial intelligence, because obviously you could tell Ian had some big plans for her down the line. Because she's an artificial intelligence, she like Sonic, still remembered the old world. So thanks to the leftover energies of the Genesis wave going into her, or being absorbed by her, she basically was the key to restoring everybody's memories. And basically everybody gets the restoration of remembering, okay, this is what the life was and should be and what they had done. So, and that even shows that Sally, which you probably point out in your review, remembers being Mecha Sally. And of course, a lot of people, I even talked about this in my review of Countdown to Chaos, basically acknowledged that whether they liked it or not, everybody was going to tell Sally in that issue that it wasn't her fault because it wasn't her. So, yeah. I know it sounds confusing, but that's what happened before we got into the soft reboot and retcon. So, but anyway, thought I'd just kind of help you out there, Tanner. And again, I do recommend going to tailskickass.net to sign up for free and read the comics there. You can even torrent them if you want to and read them. I'm pretty sure you get them like that. To kind of get yourself up to date with it. And again, if anybody's going to comment to you in the comment section and give you an idea of exactly what happened beforehand so you can be caught up to date, read those comments and I guarantee you'll get a better idea of what happened beforehand and what's going on. And just to let you know, I'm pretty sure you've heard about this, Ian Flynn is planning to release something called Lost Hitchhawk Tales to give us all a perspective of what he originally had planned for the Mecha Sally arc, or Mecha Sally Death Egg Mark II arc that he was doing before the whole behind the scenes issues with Penders happened and then worlds collide and so forth. So thought I'd just let you know what's going on there, kind of help you out a little bit. Like I said, I know it might sound a little confusing to you, Tanner, but again, hopefully this helped get you up to speed. Appreciate what you're doing with the Sonic Show, especially with the reviews. Keep those up. And that's all I'm going to say. And if anybody's watching this, check out the Sonic Show. Check out his reviews. Help him out as best you can as well. And talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.